Get Warrior Tough, Mental Training 101 with Andrew Wittman and Dutch Coleman. And now back to Andrew and Dutch.
All right, we're back at it. All right, so I think we got the tech squared away. AJ, we'll take that caller now, man. You're on the air.
Hey, brother, I just wanted to check to see if you could get a call from Australia if you can't get one from South Carolina.
Oh, are you kidding me? Is this Craig Moroz, the great Craig Moroz?
I don't know about the great, but it's certainly me, mate.
Oh, man, it's so good to hear your voice. So you're in Sydney, and it's lunchtime down there tomorrow. How you doing, man? What's the weather like? Because we're freezing up here. It's summer down there, right?
Well, it's a bit warm. It's getting high 90s at the moment and pretty humid. So not enjoying it.
I wish I was you, man. All right, so listen. So you're a crisis manager, right? I mean, you know, when we're talking about critical thinking and thinking like crap, you have to use that kind of thinking matrix every day in your line of work, right?
Mate, I was just listening to that, and I just wanted to tell you a story. We 2 days ago here, my team, we pulled off one of the largest exercises on emergency management that our organisation's ever done. We exercised 2 corporate buildings, about 70 floors of buildings, about 11,000 people, and we did it on a lockdown and a shelter-in-place in 2 buildings. And we're looking at the records at the moment, but we don't know of any other company in Australia that's had a go at that, and we don't know of any other buildings in Australia that have had a go at that. That exercise, by the way, got sprung on me. Our executive team told me just before Christmas they wanted it done in January. And after picking my jaw up off the ground, spoke to the team, and I harkened back to the conversation we had on the beach at Camp Lejeune, and that line of, okay, you reckon it's impossible. If it were possible, how are we going to do it? We didn't just do it, we knocked the ball out of the park. I thought I'd ring you up, say g'day, and say thank you.
Oh, that's so awesome. As for folks don't know, you were on the show earlier this summer. I interviewed you. You're my lifelong friend from Australia. We went to high school together. And so that interview, we can make that available if you're in the membership, side of the Phalanx. You'll hear that interview with Craig. But that's awesome. He was at vacation with me and the family down at Camp Lejeune. He's an Australian warrior, an Army guy, a paratrooper, and now he's in, he hunts down terrorists and stops money laundering, does crisis management, and I love him, man. And I thank you for calling, bro. I miss you, man. I miss you every day, brother.
It goes the same way, brother. It's been a long haul. I can't believe it's been so many months, and it feels just like yesterday since we were sitting in that truck driving from Spartanburg down to Lejeune, and certainly miss being there, being with you.
All right, so it's my turn to come down there next. So I owe you, but it's going to be in summertime. See, you bailed on your winter and came to summer. I'm bailing on my winter and coming to your summer, man.
Deal.
All right, brother. Deal. I love you. Thank you for calling in, man. All right, so
leave you to it. Congratulations on the show, and I'll talk to you very soon.
Thanks, brother. Love you, man. All right, so Dutch, what do you say? So that's our 2 minute. All right, buddy. Our 2-minute rule is suspend your disbelief. So the initial response everybody has is I can't do it, or that's impossible, we can't do it. All right, and then we say, okay, when you hear that voice, you say, well, okay, it's impossible, but if it were possible, how would I do it? And just give yourself 2 minutes of cognitive space to think, how would I do it? And you set your genius brain in motion to go get the answer. So, and we'll pick up on that, but I want to finish thinking like crap, right? Clarity, relevance, the next thing is accuracy, and the last thing is precision. So accuracy is this a fact or is this a truth? Fact or truth? And Dutch, you and I talk about fact or truth all the time. Tell me about, what's the big deal about that?
And this is where people need to really, really pay attention. This is my favorite part of it, accuracy, the fact or truth. And this is the most enjoyable part. So as we move on in the coming weeks, you'll really, really find yourself enjoying the discussion about fact and truth. If you think about fact, I always say this, when you're in a courtroom, there's only one set of facts. There's only one set of facts. You enter that into evidence as facts, right? So you say exhibit 1, exhibit 2, or A or B or whatever, you enter that into facts, right? In the evidence.
Right.
Now, what's never entered into evidence is truth. Because I asked you to come on and stand and tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. That's never entered as exhibit A, B, or C or anything like that. That's your truth. And,
right.
And how many witnesses may be called in a in
You know,
the
like you
trial.
could have a half a dozen, and everyone saw something different while they were standing next to each other, right?
Exactly. 12. So if you had a dozen of them, 12 different truths, right?
Yep.
So that tells you that there's a significant difference between fact and truth. And as we move on, you'll get a better understanding of it. But truth is your point of view, what you saw, what your mind processed in that moment. And someone can see the exact same thing and have a different truth. So there's a difference between truth and fact.
Yeah, and we're going to dive into that deeper. We're just kind of sprinkling the we're chumming the water right now so that you guys will be interested in coming back and hearing what we have to say. We have another caller, AJ. We'll take him now if you can bring him up, brother. You're on the air with Get Warrior Tough.
Hey, Andrew, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, brother? So what can we do for you today, sir?
By the way, it's Josh from South Carolina. I just wanted to congratulate you guys on the show and say how happy I am for you guys. This is awesome.
Josh, the bearded legend, Josh from Rock Hill.
That's me.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Man, it's so
What's
good to
up,
hear.
Josh?
So listen, we got people from South Carolina calling in, from Australia. This is so awesome. Thank you, Josh. That is so. I mean, we love, dude. You're one of my favorite people on the planet. Did you know that?
I appreciate that, man. I'm definitely humbled.
Yeah, no, it's true, man. And I love the beard, dude. I just saw an article where beards are
Appreciate
healthy. Did you see that? That beards are healthy.
Oh man, I just
Yeah.
shaved my beard too.
Yeah, you got to grow that back, Dutch, because beards are supposed to be like some kind of it's like a super antibiotic that grows in there, man. I know that creeps me out, but I just saw it, man. So there's
That's
science
great.
behind
I
the
just wanted
beard.
to jump off
Yeah, go ahead,
just
man.
wanted to jump off of what you were saying with the truth and fact. That's been something huge for me, going to CWU and then being a part of the Phalanx. It's that whole differentiation between a truth and a fact really opened my eyes to just, kind of how I was living my life, with a lot of, truths that I had grown up with or things that I had just assumed and kind of built as my framework, and I was operating out of that. So when you're able to really distinguish the difference between those two, you can really start to make some changes in your life. So that's definitely something that the listeners would want to tune into. Truth and fact, good stuff.
Yeah. So tell me, Josh, how did that? What was the thought process? I mean, when you first heard about this different? I mean, kind of was it a shock, or kind of walk us through the process when you first were exposed to, not thinking that facts and truth were the same thing, or what the difference was. What kind of walk us through that?
Yeah, it was definitely a shock, because a lot of the things that you just kind of take for granted or just take automatically are truths. Just something as simple as tomorrow, fact or truth. It's really a truth because it will never really come. Even something that we just integrate into our life, cold outside, that's a truth too. The fact would be it's 32 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
And you could even get more specific than that. But that goes even further into various work situations. Oh, this is hard work, or
right.
It comes so naturally, so that whenever you hear that there's an actual difference, you really stop yourself more often and say, hey, is this a truth or a fact? And then you can kind of hone in on it and make the right decision.
Now, how long did it take you to kind of get over the initial shock and then just start to really because at first didn't it kind of make you a little bit mad, right? Or no?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it, because it challenges you. It challenges your life. It challenges your day to day. It challenges your thought process, and you kind of bristle when you first hear it, but you take a step back and you think about it a little more, and your eyes begin to open, and then the process begins, like you guys were saying earlier. These things that you've accepted for so long, you kind of slow down, you pump the brakes a little bit, say, hey, is this truth or a fact? And then you're not so upset anymore. This really was a false truth, so to speak, that I was operating on here, and the fact is really this, and this is how I can change this. So, good stuff.
That is good stuff, man. That's so good. And listen, thank you for calling in, brother. We really appreciate it, man.
Of course, man. Of course. Very excited for you guys. Looking forward to even more.
All right, next time I'm over by Charlotte, I'll stop by and see you, man. We'll get lunch or something.
Sounds great, man. You take care.
All right, brother. Dutch, that's
I'll
so
tell you-
good, man.
I'll tell you another thing about truth and fact is not just the knowledge of the situation, but again, one of my favorite things is effective communication. if you're communicating with someone and you guys disagree on something, if you understand the difference between truth and fact, you're not so hard on that person. It's going to allow you a certain level of diplomacy when you're discussing issues with other people, because you understand that's their truth, that's their perspective, that's the way they saw it. When you couple all their experiences in, then I'm going to allow them that truth, and I'm going to address them differently. I'm going to address them in a manner that's going to allow a certain level of respect. You know, sometimes we get into these discussions / arguments where we're so intent on our point, and our point being a fact, when our point is the truth and their point is the truth. So I want them to allow me space, and I want to allow them space, so that we can see if we can kind of slide towards each other and get a common perspective, or see where we see things the same, and then see where the differences may lie. So it really helps with effective communications and relationships.
Right. So maybe we can agree on the facts once we discover the facts, and then allow each other to have our own truths.
Absolutely. Or I can understand why you think, oh, that's why Andrew thinks so. Okay, I see now, and then I'm not so hard on you, because now I can learn to sit in your seat, and I understand why, and I don't think you're just being difficult. I understand why you think the way you think.
Right. And for the listeners, the difference between fact and truth, a fact is, like Josh said, it's 32 degrees outside. The truth is that if I'm from South Carolina, for me, it's cold. But Dutch is up there in the Poconos, and that's probably warm for him, right?
That's a heat wave. 32 is a heat wave.
It's a heat
right
wave.
Now.
So that's the difference. It's our perspective on the facts, is what our truth is. So we have another caller. AJ, you can bring them up if they're on.
Hello?
Hello, you're on the air. Get Warrior Tough.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
You're on.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. You're good to go.
Hello?
I guess we can't figure out. Right. So that's a great call. Now, AJ, they're not getting back to. We can't hear us. So, all right, if you can get them back up, we'll take it. So this is a huge thing, the fact and the truth thing, though, Dutch. The fact and the truth is huge.
Absolutely, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I know we're up against the break, but this is something that I think the listeners are going to love more than anything, is any discussion on fact and truth, because it really puts you in your place and allows you to calm down a little.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, is to just give ourselves some cognitive space, and that way we become a responder instead of a reactor, and it's not just a knee-jerk reaction. Okay, so Dutch, we got another break coming up. If everybody will just hang on, we got to do the break, right? So remember, to get in, submit your Awful Boss story. We want to hear it. Go to GetWarriorTough.com. Go to the Awful Boss page. We want to get Dutch to tell his awful boss. And and if you call back after the break, if you got cut off, we want to hear from you. And this is the Get Warrior Tough radio show.